welcome to my channel. My name is Julia Masalska, like so. Feel free to check out my Instagram. This is where, I'm mostly active. And today we are here for a live Q&A. Thank you so much everybody for joining. I see there are already a couple people here in the chat. Hi Kamal, hi Jatirmia, good to see you guys. Awesome. So today we're going to go through a bunch of different questions, and we are going to try to answer some of your freelance questions that you put into a questionnaire on my Instagram. So I'm really excited about that. Those were some really amazing questions, and yeah, we're going to get started right away. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, and so that you get notified and be part of this community. I'm so excited to kind of help people grow in freelancing and design. So that's what I'm here for. Alright, so let's jump into my screen, and you can already kind of see it that I don't have nothing open yet because we are going to be working in, let me actually pull in a window real quick. So we are going to be answering some of your guys' popular questions, and we are going to Google stuff as well. So I'm just going to keep Google open here for us so that we can totally get back to Google and ask Master Google about things. Cool. So let's start with question number one that Evelyn had. Evelyn was asking how to overcome creative blocks. So Evelyn, this is a really great question, and I personally do several things to overcome creative blocks. I do have those, and one of the major things that I would say is I work on different projects at the same time. So if I'm kind of blocked in one project, I am jumping to another project. So let's actually quickly jump into here and see how other people do it. How to overcome creative blocks. So yeah, so what I do personally, even without looking at that and without looking at what other people are doing, for me, a creative block basically is when I am deep inside a project and I'm going very much into detail, and I'm kind of not finding the way that I should be going in the process, and my process therefore is kind of blocked, and I'm kind of stuck in this one decision that I have to make, and I'm not able to make decisions, or my head is just too overloaded with all the little details that I'm kind of jumped into. So I think one of the major things you can do here is to kind of step back and see your project as a whole, right? Remember what you exactly are doing, what you are working for, and what the goal is of the project, what you want to accomplish with this design or whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be a design project, it can be any other project. But so for me, it's important to kind of step away, and I do that by working on something else at the same time. Or what I also love to do is after like a long week, I love to step out of my house, because usually I don't get the chance to be outside a lot because I'm working from home, and I am actually in my office 24/7 if I'm not sleeping in my bed. So for me, to overcome creative blocks basically is to step away from my work, or to zoom out and to look at the project as a whole, or to jump into another project and see, concentrate on something else for a while. Even sometimes, simple things like going to the supermarket can help to think about something else, and your brain automatically will create other connections that will kind of solve your problem that you have in the back of your head. So working on a project is always kind of in the back of your mind, right? If you're working on something, if you're designing a brand, it's always in the back of your mind. So wherever you go, you connect the things to that. So you basically have a pot of ideas that you're now looking into, and wherever you go, you throw new things into that pot. So the more you see, the more you go out, the more you experience new things during the project work, the better your outcome will be. That's my experience, at least, because sometimes you connect things that you haven't connected before, and your brain is basically like a wire, and it's formed of connections of your thoughts and your visualizations and so on. So when you collect new information, it rewires your brain and creates new connections. So it can be really helpful to get some other inputs, either working on another project or getting some inspiration or going outside, going to the supermarket. It can be anything. It can be even cleaning your house that can help you to kind of overcome this creative block. So at least this is my experience, and sometimes just like a minute break, you know, cuddling with my dog, just like sitting on the floor, doing something that you don't usually do, I don't know, climbing out of the table, or just doing some like weird stuff, some funny stuff, just dance around. That can help me a lot. So let's see who's here in the chat. Hi Felipe, hi Farhad, and Hashim is here, and Vlodi is here. Bonjour, yes, bonjour guys. Cool. So creative blocks, step away, zoom out, look at the general idea of your project, and step back into your design and see if that really actually applies to what you're actually doing. And don't be afraid to step away from an idea. If you're stuck in that idea and you don't see really that process flowing smoothly, just step away from it. Just work on something else meanwhile. That's my kind of advice. The transition between learning to design industry is always so hard. What your advice to make it more easier? By the way, guys, feel free to ask questions in the chat. I have 8 questions that I wanted to answer from you guys that you put into my Instagram, but you guys can feel free to ask questions in the chat as well. I'm going to try and answer all of them. Okay, so let's jump to Hashim's question. The transition between learning to design industry is always hard. So what is your advice to make it more easier? Yes, so I know how hard it is. There is a lot of things that you don't learn in school, like design business. So how do you maintain a business? How do you scale a business? Nothing you learn in design school. How to write a contract? Not a thing you learn in design school. How to write an invoice? How do you do your taxes? How to bill your clients? How to price your design? Nothing of that you learn in school, and this is really, really scary because you get out of school and you have no idea where the fuck to start, right? So what you want to do is you want to, even when you're in school right now and you're listening to this, make sure to learn those things before you jump into the real world, and make sure to take some courses, some classes online, watch some YouTube videos, and make sure that you are prepared to go into real life and be ready to kind of start off. I think one of the most important decisions that I had to make for myself is to find a way I'm going to be working. So there's multiple ways. One way is working as a freelancer. One way is working full-time for a company, which means you're going to be working on one big project for a long ass time. This is, by the way, not for kids. I'm cursing, I'm sorry, but I'm getting very passionate about this topic. So so this is a really passionate object for me, and subject for me. So make sure to take courses and classes when you're in school already, and so that you're prepared. And different types of work you can decide for: freelancing, working full-time for a company. Let's say it's a company that has one product and they need a designer to do all of their design work. So marketing, branding, packaging, making presentations, making print material, collateral, creating trade shows. There can be any of that. So working for a company as a designer, especially working for a smaller company, you probably do a bunch of different things. So be prepared for that you are not only going to be the awesome packaging designer or the awesome branding designer. You will wear a lot of hats, and you will do their marketing and all of that stuff that you might not really be specialized in doing, but they will still make you do it because you're already there and they're paying you, so why not? So that's working for a company full-time, right? For a company that has only one product or just a couple products, and they need a designer for everything, right? Then you can work for an agency, which is also super fun, very hectic. I can say it can be very stressful because working for agencies means working for a bunch of different clients, right? So working for a bunch of different clients, let me actually, I'm just going to create a little file while we are working on something. I am going to create a little slide. And maybe I'm going to publish one of those. So I'm going to do like that. Okay, so let's see if I can find a better library. Okay, let's just keep the properties. I don't want to show you too many of my client work. So let's start off with that. There is, let me jump into my work screen so we can visualize this better, right? So there is freelancing. There is working for a company. So let's make that like this. Command 2. Okay, so there is. Need to find the right typeface. There is freelancing. Then there is working for a company. In-house. That's called in-house designer. If you're working for a company, it's called in-house designer. Then there is working for an agency. Now let's compare those things. Let's write down what those things are and what the differences are actually between them. Right, so I will have a little slide that you guys can feel free to use afterwards. Okay, I'm actually going to reduce this a little bit. Feel free to ask questions in the chat if you guys have any, and we are going to make sure to answer them. Okay, so freelancing versus working for a company, in-house versus working for an agency. So the thing is that you will have different tasks, right? As a freelancer, let me actually make this a little bit smaller. As a freelancer, you will have to do additional work like administration and business. So you will have to take care of your business as an individual. Even as an individual, you will have to take care of your business. So here, working for a company, good thing is just work and go home, right? You work in the company, go home, you forgot about it. Less responsibility comes with that. Because you are basically an employee and you don't own the business, so whatever you create is on you. It's not, of course you can be a really good hard worker and really feel responsible for the work that you produce, but most of the people choose a full-time job to not have responsibility and to have some kind of security, right? Less responsibility, then let's put security, income security, right? And we also have benefits. So let's say health insurance. You will always get taxes paid by the employee. You don't have to take care of paperwork. So well, actually you do have to do some paperwork in the beginning, but it's not part of your job, let's say. No paperwork. What else? So working for a company in-house also means wearing different hats. which basically, you know, can be anywhere. It can be either in freelancing or working for an agency as well. So that doesn't exclude itself. Let me take a look at the chat actually. Okay, so now let's go through this whole scheme here, and then we can jump into your other questions. So freelancing means additional work, administration, and business. You need to know how to learn. You need to learn how to write contracts, how to write proposals, how to talk with the client, how to basically understand the whole, you know, the whole purpose of the project, and basically a lot of zooming in and out to the project. And responsibility, a lot of responsibility. You're paying your own taxes, so that means sometimes you might get paid, but then you have to put almost half of it towards taxes, which can be really, really annoying. And then these are the things that I'm actually, by the way, experiencing myself on a daily. And then there you have to talk about pricing with your client. So let's say pricing, contracts, invoices, right? That comes with it. And then you also have responsibility over the project outcome. So if the project comes out good, the client will recommend you to others. If not, nobody will recommend you, and your business will go downhill, right? So you have the responsibility to deliver good results, because if you want to grow as a business, or if you want to grow as a freelance business or as a freelance one-person business, you have to carry the responsibility of the outcome of the project. Then there is also finding clients, right? Nowhere else you will need to do that except for being a freelancer. Being a freelancer means finding clients. Versus here in an agency takes care of clients. Let's write it like that. No need to take care of clients, because all you do is you produce the work. And the agency takes care of the client, so they will do all the calls. Maybe once or twice you will jump on the call with the client or communicate some feedback, but the agency basically gets the clients, talks to them, talks pricing, contracts, everything. Then the agency assigns you the work to do. So you basically you're only a part of a wheel, right? And even especially if the project has to do with multiple disciplines, let's say branding, packaging, website. So you maybe do one of those things, right? Because you're specialized in it, and usually agencies put together teams to work on a project. Okay, then this also means working in a team, of course. Working in a team can be a thing that you like or hate, depending on the personality you are. And here you are working by yourself, right? Working by yourself, and here you might be working with people who don't know about design. Because many times small companies have only a couple designers, so that designers kind of take care of the design and everybody else does completely different things. Working with people who don't know about design, right? In an agency, you work with specialists, so you can learn a lot from other people. People who know about design, right? So you can learn from them. You can ask questions. You can get feedback from your teammates. So you can learn a lot working in an agency, and I did too. working with people who know about design, and then also that means working on multiple projects. Working on different projects, because the clients can be very different, you know, depending on who is approaching your agency. Some agencies specialize in certain things, some agencies don't. Okay, so so working for an agency means working on different projects at the same time, which also is the case for working on as a freelancer. And for a company, is mostly working on the same project for a long ass time, right? So let me know, by the way, in the chat what you guys' experiences are so far, and let me actually work on this just a little bit so that it looks a little bit nicer, since I'm trying to share this after. Okay, so again, working for an in-house company means work and go home, less responsibility, income security, benefits. You don't have to do the paperwork behind projects. You have to wear different hats. You have to work with people who don't know about design that much, and you have to work on the same project for a long time. Working for an agency means, of course, it's not always the case, right? There are companies who are working on different projects. So let's say you work for Procter and Gamble or a Johnson and Johnson, and they have millions of different products. So you will work on different products at the same time. But most of the times, this is going to be the case, and you have to count on that. Working for an agency means working, no need to take care of clients because the agency does, means working in a team, working with people who know about design, so you have the possibility to learn a lot. And also, working in an agency before freelancing is really beneficial because you do see a lot of this background stuff that goes beyond just doing a design project, like communicating with clients, like pricing, like so you do get some insights, and you can also ask questions. You can definitely learn a lot about how to operate a successful business, especially if it's already a bigger established agency. You will see the processes behind that, and you will also learn if you really want to do that. Do you want to go through all of these things, or do you actually just want to do the design work? Okay, and freelancing means that you have to do a lot of additional work to the design work, like administration of business, pricing, contracts, and invoices. You carry the responsibility of the success of the business. You have the responsibility to find clients and get in touch with them and communicate with them, right? And you are like me, I'm mostly working by myself. Sometimes I'm kind of hiring people to help me out with certain things, but mostly I'm working by myself. And the good thing is I'm working on different projects, which is super fun. All right, so this is also here we also have the security, income security aspect to it, and we don't have that income security in freelancing. So think 3 times before you do freelancing. It means that you will have to do a lot of additional work, and you carry a lot of responsibility. You are responsible for the success of your business, and you are mostly working by yourself. You are you don't have no income security, so sometimes you will need to have like a side job or a side gig that will give you some kind of security income. Let's say working at Starbucks, or I don't know, as a part-time. Or maybe you can work part-time in an agency and then come home and work on your own client projects. This is basically the gateway towards freelancing, that people work either in-house or for an agency for some time. Then they decide they do want to, they already kind of established their own clients and they do want to go into freelancing. So they go basically step by step, kind of not straight away kind of jumping into freelancing 24/7 when you don't have no client base, but they kind of building the client base while still having income. This is the smart way to do it, because you don't want to end up, you know, not being able to pay your bills because you felt so passionate about design and you felt like, oh, I need to do this full time because this is my passion. But you do still have responsibility to pay bills, you know, to eat something, to not be dependent of your parents or whatever family, because it's a weight for your family to care for you, right? So make sure to care for yourself and still be able to kind of finance your own stuff. All right. Nina is saying, I work in-house for a company and can vouch for all of the things you're saying. It's comfortable, but work isn't diverse. Most of my portfolio is passion project. Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's exactly. Gold Lion is saying, I work for a company in-house and your description is accurate. So yeah, Jotirmi is saying more control as well in freelancing. Yes, you totally have the responsibility. You have the freedom to decide who you want to work for, who you don't want to work for. So that's the fun part for me. I love right now what I'm doing, and I can get picky with clients because I do have already kind of like a client base, and I can decide, do I want to work with this person or not? So that's also a thing that brings a lot of happiness into work, if you can make the decisions if you do want or do not want to work on that project. Cool. All right, so I think the slide can be really, really helpful. I will have to work on that just a little bit, and I'll probably publish it on my Instagram. Okay, so now let's take a look at what kind of questions you guys have still. Okay, we have the transition between learning to design industry is always so hard. That was actually where I kind of started off. So you have to make the decision, where do you want to kind of put your energy into? Do you want to do freelancing? Do you want to work for an agency? Or do you want for a company in-house? A smart way to do it is first work for an agency, look at their processes, look at how they're kind of managing the workflows, and look at the software they're using to manage their time, their tasks, and so on, how they're communicating with clients. Take a look at their client presentations, at how they get feedback from the client, how they apply the feedback to the clients, how they do the leadership. So this is also a very important point, because in freelancing at some point you might become a leader of a bigger group. So let's say you have an overload on work, you will have to outsource it. So you will have to guide those people and give them art direction. So take a look at the agency, at how they are doing it, how they're communicating with their designers, and how they're getting their feedback, how they're bringing the best out of them. So that's also a really, really important thing. Learn leadership. Then while working for an agency, start building your clients. So start building your portfolio, put in some passion projects with on like the topics that you want to be working on. So let's say you're very interested in the beverage industry, put a bunch of projects for the beverage industry. That means that if a client who is working in beverage will look at your portfolio, they will see you're specialized in that stuff, and they will hire you for that. So creating passion projects in a certain topic will bring you clients in that exact topic. So that's a kind of like a circle that you definitely should try stepping in. Okay, and this is basically the start. Start working with your family, with your friends, with local bars and restaurants. Talk about yourself as a designer, put yourself out there, create yourself an online presence, create yourself an online portfolio, create yourself social media, keep on posting, keep on telling everybody that you're a designer and that you do this and this and this, right? Specialize on a certain field that you like and go towards that all the time. All right, so hopefully this question is answered so far. Now, let's take a look if you guys are okay. Jotirmi is saying, I'm actually shifting to designing from commerce field, so it's good to have the business knowledge with me. Exactly, yes, totally. And I think business knowledge is always necessary, because you will also need to learn how to price yourself, even if you are starting a new job. So what offer do you accept? Some people don't even know you can bargain with the employer, right? They don't know that you can suggest a higher price range because you have this and this much experience. Usually they try to lowball you because they don't want to pay that much for an employee, right? For them it's a monthly cost and constant cost, so they can save a lot of money by lowballing you, and you should not let this do to you. You should know your industry value with your experience, with your education. Ask other freelancers who are working in similar positions and have a similar experience how much they make, because that's very important to know. And there are also sites online, I believe, where you can check the pricing or the value of your skill set. All right, guys, next question that I have from Polychromos site. Do graphic design skills serve as a gateway to future jobs or clients? Do graphic design skills serve as a gateway to future jobs or clients? So let's give it an example. So let's say you just finished school and you have the best graphic design skill in the world, right? You are so good at what you're doing, and you're sitting in your house. You don't have an online portfolio, you don't have any social media online work presence, whatever. Nobody ever knows that you're a designer. You're sitting there, you might be the best designer ever, but nobody knows about you. So you're not the best designer because it's not a gateway to jobs or clients. You will end up doing something else because you will not get paid for what you are professional in, right? You have the skills, but you will not get paid for them unless somebody hires you. If nobody knows about you, if you have not applied to jobs, if you have not created an online portfolio where freelance clients can find you, how will you get hired? You will not get hired, right? So before you start putting yourself out there, your design skills do not serve you as a gateway to jobs or clients because nobody knows about you, right? You need to let people know that you're there, and you need to let them know constantly over a long period of time that you're there, that you're serious about it, and that you're a designer, and you need to let them know what you specialize in, because this is very important. Don't just say, oh, I'm a designer, I do everything. That's not the purpose. You need to specialize in the field that you like. So let's say it's branding, let's say it's packaging, let's say it's UI UX, anything. Kind of pick a field and concentrate on that. Put yourself out there, create an online portfolio, create an online presence, create content that will attract the right people to you. Okay? All right, so hopefully Polychromos site, this question was answered. And then we have Bailey Thickpen asking, what's the most difficult client you had and why? My most difficult client, let's jump onto this one. My most difficult client that I had was the client that wanted to design themselves. So they already had an idea in their head and they wanted me to put the idea into design software, basically. So whatever I did, they would say, no, this is not how I imagine it. I imagine it like this. So this client, I ended up doing whatever they wanted, but this client ended up with the worst design I've ever made in my life. Yeah, because they were so sure that's what they needed, that's what they wanted, and they got it. Yeah, that was my worst client, the most difficult for me to accept. I was selling my ass to them to put what they were thinking on an artboard, and that's it. That was my worst client experience, and I felt so ashamed that I even let that do with me, because I have produced this design, and he will be walking around and telling everybody, oh yeah, I have this designer, and they will look at his business card and will say, oh my god, she's terrible, she's not a good designer at all, what is this, who made this? And I cannot say that this is a presentation of my design skill set, because it's a representation of my client's design skill set, which is none, right? So this was my worst experience. Never do this again. Do not recommend doing this. Do not let the client design the whole work. just if it's a client who is so sure what they know, then they can do it themselves, or they can hire someone else, but not me, because I want to stand for my work, and I want to my work to represent my skill set, and I want to actually help the client and not make it worse. Okay. All right, my friends, feel free to ask questions in the chat. That's what I'm here for. But we're going to jump into the next question. Again, by Bailey. Do you ever spend lots of time on a project and the client ends up not liking it? Do you still charge them? So first things first, before even starting a design project, right? Before even starting a design project, you need to take a deposit from the client, because you cannot work for somebody for free. That's not your purpose, right? So you send them a price estimate. You send them the first invoice, which is usually I take 50% as a deposit for the project, and the other 50% people pay me after I deliver the project, right? So before you start a project, charge 50% upfront. Then it's not about you creating a design and the client will say, oh, I don't like it, and then you'll be like, okay, bye. It's not about that, right? This is not the way you should be acting. The way you should be acting is you should be collaborating with the client to find the best solution for them, right? So you are designing something for them. If they say I don't like it, you will have to ask them. You will have to understand why exactly do they not like it? What exactly is the reason why they don't see it fit to their business? Maybe it's a style that is not fitting to the clients they want to approach, or maybe it's just the way you present your work. Maybe showing the logo only in black and white will not help them understand how the logo can be actually used in their brand, which is in color, which is on mockups, which is on a business card. So whenever I present a design to a client, I always present it in context, which is really, really important to help them understand how the design actually looks in real life, right? So to answer that question, I still charge them. Yes, of course I do charge them because, but I do want them to be satisfied with the end result. So I do everything possible for them to be satisfied, and I'm trying to find out what exactly is the problem. And sometimes when it's hard for them to articulate themselves and hard for them to understand themselves what they need, I do create mood boards for them. So before I even start, working on my own designs, I create mood boards for the client. Usually it's 3 different concepts that I'm showing the client to understand the direction we want to go with the artwork, right? So is it more colorful? Is it more modern? Is it more elegant? So once the client has picked, usually it's so easy to pick for them visually, right? They will see what will work with their business and whatnot. So once they visually kind of pick the art direction, I am working from there, and I'm using similar aspects. Let's say if the colors that they picked were subtle colors, I use subtle colors in their design. So let's say it's beige or light brown or dark gray, something like that. So I take a look at the aspects of the design that I have presented to them and that they liked, right? So those aspects I put together and I create new concepts. I create my own original concepts out of that, using similar color palettes, using similar typefaces, using similar style of design, right? But it's still my original content already. And then I present to answer the question of Deeman, how many revisions should I provide the client if they are out of any freelance? If they are out of any freelance, out of any freelance website. I don't really work with freelance websites like Fiverr or Upwork. I just don't like the clients that get there, or the clients that are looking for people to work with, because a person who goes on Fiverr and expects somebody to do something for $5 is not the person I want to work with, honestly. And there are so many people who are willing. So basically Fiverr is attracting those clients, right? Those cheap clients who don't want to pay a cent for the design, and in the worst case, they will not even pay the $5. What they will do is they will take your design and they will say, oh, I don't like it, and then they will just let somebody else reproduce it real quick, right? So Fiverr is something that really, really pisses me off because there is so much competition of people who are willing to work for $1, for $5. That really upsets me, because as a designer, you should have a value, right? And I know some people, even $5 is something for them to start, right? And that's how some people start kind of collecting the reviews and so on. But on Fiverr, it's just so hard, and you will never ever kind of get on top of the mass of people who are willing to work for $5. And also, the money has a different value in different countries. So while for somebody maybe in India, $5 will be kind of like money that they can go out for dinner for. For me, $5 is not even pocket change. I can go and get a chocolate bar for that. So yeah, it's always, different depending on the platform. Upwork is just a little bit better, but not much. What I like to do is I like to build my online presence and get my clients through that. Basically, that's the technique that I use. And also building your Google business is very helpful, because you can sometimes people look for a local freelance designer, right? And they will Google graphic designer, and will show them the results near them, and this is where they can find you as a graphic designer and get in touch with you, right? So make sure to create yourself a Google business account, and Google will send you a postcard to your house. It can be your home, it doesn't matter. So Google will send you a card where you have to confirm that you actually live there, or that your business is actually there. As a freelancer, you do work from home, so it doesn't matter. So you do that, you confirm your address, and that's when you will have the ability to have a Google business, right? And a Google business will attract local clients. And the good thing on that is that people can give you a review. So whenever I finished a project, I would always ask my clients to give me a review on my Google business account. And I would also put up some work. So that would be one way. Second way is I use Behance. Honestly, I use Behance, and I'm producing a lot of passion projects. Sometimes they get featured. Once they get featured, I get a lot of client requests. People who want to work with me, who want to create something similar to the projects that I have. So from that, I get a lot of requests, honestly, through my Adobe portfolio website. So that's a site that is basically connected to your Behance. Let's take a look at that quickly, actually. So my site is called masalska.myportfolio.com. Here I have some social links. Let me actually jump into the screen where you can see better. So here I have my contact, right? So here the client, after they saw my portfolio and my work and so on, they can leave a contact form submission. So I'm getting a lot of those contact form submissions. How to create this portfolio? To create this portfolio, you go onto behance.net. And this is where you can basically create your own portfolio. Here is my portfolio right there. This is my portfolio, right? So here you will be able to edit your Adobe portfolio once you have a CC subscription, and you have basically a connection to your Behance, because Behance is owned by Adobe, right? So Behance has this connection where you can connect all the projects that you have here on your Behance profile to your online portfolio. So here in my work, you will be able to see this is more like a personalized website that you can design yourself. Mine is a little shitty right now. I'm working on that, but once you have some projects up here, they will show up in your online portfolio as well. And so the client can access your online portfolio here if they click, let's say if they click on my website, www.masalska.design. I have created a forwarded link. So my domain leads to the Adobe portfolio, right? So once you click that, it goes onto masalska.myportfolio.com. That's something you can do if you want to use a personalized domain name that you already have, looks more professional, but really goes to my Behance online portfolio. That's more of a personalized site from Adobe Portfolio. So this is where I get most of my requests, and also I think the Instagram does a lot because I do publish a bunch of my work here. So yeah, this is how I operate so far. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, and to get back to Bailey's question, and I do still charge the client, because if they're not liking the design, I will want to work on the design with them. And before starting the design work, they are determining the package that they're getting. So I have different packages. One includes one revision, one includes 2 revisions, and one includes unlimited revisions, logo revisions. So when they decide for the package, they already know how much, how many choices they can make, right? Before creating the revision designs, I do find out what they actually need and want, right? Because I do want to create those concepts based on something, on their inputs, right? So if I tell them, hey, so this is the type of design you want, and they say yes, yes, and I show them 3 different concepts similar to that, right, in that direction, and they will pick one, and they will tell me exactly what they like and what they don't like, right? So I'll change those things, and then they'll tell me again, hey Julia, can we try this and that, and I will try that, and then we'll look together, and I will try to help them make a decision by argumenting not in a bad sense, but giving them arguments for different aspects of the design. So basically just analyzing the design together and what will be the best decision for them, right? So that's how I do it. It's very not personal at all. So I'm not accepting things like, oh, I don't like it, or yeah, this won't work, because I always ask them why. So they know they will have to explain themselves, right? So if they tell me no, I will say why, and they will say because this and this and this, and I will tell them, okay, then let's make the changes and let's try it out. So basically collaborating with the client always leads to a result where they're satisfied and where they say, okay, yeah, you're right, this makes sense, and let's make this decision. So help them make a decision. Once they make a decision, it's already done, it's already in the books. If they tell you, yes, I agree with that, that's it. They cannot tell you anymore that they're not satisfied with it. So just keep on digging until they're satisfied with it. And yes, you charge them in the end. Okay, all right. Let's see who's there in the chat, who's asking what. So Diman, hopefully, how many revisions? Oh well, freelance websites, usually you give them, I would give them different options. I think on Upwork I have created different packages. On Upwork I have created a package with 1 review, with 2 reviews, 3 reviews, and then they can pick and choose depending on how many revisions there are. The price is of course changing. Okay. Now next, should someone who is just starting out with freelancing be more flexible with pricing? Nina, that's a good question. Honestly, I was, and the reason for that was because when I started, I was working with family friends, with my friends, with people who we kind of know, with people who I was friends with on social media. So yes, you're kind of have to be flexible, because you can't, overcharge someone. And also it's a learning process for you, right? In the beginning especially. It also depends where you start from. So if you start as an educated designer, then you don't have to do that. But for me, in my case, I taught graphic design actually to myself, because when I went to university, I was actually studying industrial design, which is something completely different. It's more of, creating 3D objects, and well, you do design, but it does not have to do with typefaces, layouts, branding at all. So Graphic design, all the design software is something that I learned myself. So if you start freelancing with zero knowledge in graphic design, yes, of course, you should be flexible with you should be damn flexible with your pricing, and you should start working with people who you don't have, where you don't have too much responsibility, you know, so you can create your own experiments there. But once you're out of school, once you're already pretty much educated and you have the skill set and you know you're ready to go, you're ready to create something good, a good result for somebody, you should not be that flexible, honestly, because you are ready to make the money, you are ready to go, you're ready to be professional and give them the service that other designers are giving them already. So depending on how you're feeling about yourself. All right, Nina is also saying, also I'm wondering what your suggestions are for landing a job at an agency. Oh, Nina, that's a good question. Landing a job at an agency, actually, there you need to show the skill set that they require for their specific needs. So let's say it's a company that works in the cannabis industry, which is, or agency that works in the cannabis industry. So they have a lot of cannabis clients, and you know that because you have taken a look, you did your research, you took a look at their projects, and you know what field they're working in. There are some agencies who work more on the social design side, so they will create projects for organizations, let's say, can be like food rescue, anything kind of organization. So you need to show that you're specialized in the range of projects that they're working on as well, and you need to show a good skill set of being flexible and being a team player. So once they took a look at your portfolio and they told you, hey, let's have a little interview, let's have a conversation together, what you need to show is that you're passionate about what you're doing, that you're able to work in a team, maybe you have some past team experiences that you can share with them. Then what else? You need to be good at what you're doing and fast at what you're doing. So they might ask you, how long does it take you to do this and to do a specific task? Because agencies usually have a very quick turnaround time, and they do want you to work quickly. And so that's one thing that you also need to kind of bring. Yeah, so but from my experiences, in self-initiated applications can be very helpful. So if you write to the agency, if you write them an email, hey, I really love you guys' work and I feel like we could be very compatible in collaboration, and I would love to work for you guys because I think what you're working on is so interesting to me, and I have that exact experience in my past and I would like to continue doing that. That can be really helpful. You can also go onto LinkedIn, get in touch with the people. So let's try something. I'm going to go onto LinkedIn. And let's say I want to work for, a certain agency. So let's say I want to work for Anagramma Studio, because this is one of my favorite ones. Let's see if they have on Instagram. Anagramma. Let's see if they have one. Oh yeah, anagramma.com. There we go. So you go onto their page, then you go onto people. Then you will see the different employees, right? You will see the different employees. There's industrial designers, there's industrial and graphic solutions with user-centric. There is a sales director. That's not the person you want to contact. You want to contact either the ad director, or the CEO, or the hiring person. So the person who is hiring. And communication strategist, brand designer, junior graphic designer, senior project manager. That could be something. So you connect with all of those people that you think will be helpful in your application process, and you get in touch with them and ask them something along the lines of, hey, I really love your work, so how is your experience working for this agency? You basically get in touch with them, not specifically asking for a favor or asking for something from them, because that's when they usually say, yeah, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to help you. But if you ask them, hey, what's your experience working with this agency? how did you basically how did you apply? How was your application process? What do you think could be? So get into a conversation with them, and that they notice that you actually have an honest interest in working with them, but not being too salesy. Don't try to sell yourself too much. Ask more questions about their experiences. Let them talk about themselves, right? So that's I think a good way. And once you kind of got in touch with them and got in touch with the hiring manager, while reviewing your application, they will already know that you were there, you got in touch with them. If there's some agencies, so let's say who is there? So I think some of the agencies also have there is this one agency, I forgot the name. Anyway, so there are some agencies that have events. So if you have the possibility to participate in some of their events, it can be an online event, or back then when life was normal, we had real events where you can actually meet people and talk to them. So make sure to try to find that point where you can contact them, where you can get in touch in a comfortable situation, and where you can actually talk to people and make yourself present in their environment. Yeah, so this is my tip for landing a agency job. Gold Lion is saying, I don't have any accounting or invoicing experience, but if I want to start freelancing, how can I start to take care of and manage financial stuff? I would love to show it to you. Let's see if I can open another software, because I don't want to show you guys, honestly, I don't want to show you guys my paper stuff, but I can show you a site that's really, really good. So let me open this real quick in the window, and then I'm going to be able to show that to you guys. So the site is called hellobonsai.com. Okay, I'm going to make another account just for you guys, and I'm going to show you how that works. Okay, let's see if that already arrived. So I have created a new let's see. I do want to show you guys the site, but unfortunately I cannot share many of the information that's there, and it's right there on the starting page, so I can't really do that. So make sure to check out hellobonsai.com, and oh, I don't know why it's not loading. That's weird. So let's see if that already works. Nope. No. So generally I use this program for everything, because so what I can do here is I can't really show you anything, guys. That's really, really sad. Let's see. So meanwhile ask other questions if you guys have any. Thanks, Nina. Nina is saying very valuable information. Thank you so much. Nina is asking also, have you ever had clients completely disappear on you? Completely disappear can only go to a certain extent, because let me actually fill this information here real quick, because I do want to show you guys this program. It's actually really amazing. Okay, design. So look, I have created a new account, right? And it's hellobonsai.com, and then I just created this account, and now I'm getting asked what I'm specialized in, right? So I'm specialized in design, and I'm going to click continue, And then what best describes you, studio or agency, full-time freelancer. That's what I am. And then what are you most interested in? Proposals, contracts, time tracking, invoicing and payments, accounting and taxes. What I want to concentrate on invoicing and payments. Yeah, invoicing and payments. But you can do all of those things here. Okay, let's go through that real quick. All right, I have to verify my email, but look at this, check this out. On the left side, you will find clients. So you will have a whole database of clients. I probably have like 2 pages of different clients. So there you fill out their information, their email address, their all the information that you have about them. Maybe some notes, take some notes, how you met them, whatever. And then you have projects. So here you will have, you will be able to create a project. Here you will pick a client. So let's say I have a new client, I pick them, sample client, and then you will have a project name. So let's say packaging. And now you will have to determine the currency, US dollars, and then this will be either per hour or just US dollars. And now that I'm creating a project, I will be able to add things to it. So I will be able to add invoices. I will be able to do time tracking. So whenever I start working on their project, I will be able to track the time in case I'm charging hourly, which I don't do personally. But once, you know, if you're working hourly, this will be a really good resource. Time tracking, so you can actually, you know, give them a list of hours that you worked to give them kind of proof. So I have worked this day from 3 to 4 p.m., the next day from 6 to 8 p.m., and so on. And then you can invoice the hours that you have worked for them, right? And then you have collaborators and settings and so on. So here the cool thing is contracts. I love their contracts. Create a contract and it will already give you a sample freelance contract that you can adjust to yourself. So let's say it's a sample client, project packaging, and it will be a standard template for design. I'm going to create the contract and you will see this is really amazing. So let's say I'm a freelancer, I'm in the United States, and let's say I'm in California. I work through a company. No, I work by myself, so I'm not going to click this. My client is a company and named, I don't know, Sony, let's say. Continue. What am I being hired to do? So here you describe, the designer will assist the client to develop a company logo, brand, and product messaging for marketing purposes. And here you can also attach a work file or a statement or anything. The client will pay a flat fee of, this is what I usually do, a flat fee of $1,200, right? Before work starts, client will pay me a deposit of $600. When it's a new client, I usually charge 50% upfront. If it's an existing client, I charge 25% upfront. And for the remaining amount, I'll invoice them at the end of the project. Client has 15 days or 30 days, you can determine it yourself. And late payments accrue a fee of, let's say, 5%. So if the client pays too late, this is what they have to count with. Okay, all right. And if either party ends the contract early, so let's say the client disappears, client will pay, and here you can make a decision, a flat fee of $1,000, right? And if once the client signed the contract, they cannot get away from it. They are legally bound to this contract. So if they disappear on me, they know they will have to pay me $1,000. I click continue, and here you will see that once the client signs the contract, this app already creates these 2 invoices, one for the deposit and one for the payment for work, right? And I'm going to create the contract. Okay, and here we already have the sample contract, right? It's a really specified, really good contract where I can basically already start. You know, I can send it to my, I can sign the contract myself. Okay, I can sign my contract myself, and then I can send it to Sony to sign it. Okay, And I can also download it as a PDF and send it as a PDF, so I don't have to send it from Hello Bonsai. I can send it from my own email address. So guys, this application is the shit, honestly. This is the best thing I've ever used. And here you will see all your invoices. If the invoices are paid or not, you can modify them. You can put your logos, you can put modify the proposals. So usually when a client approaches me, I send them a proposal. So a proposal looks something like this. Let's say it's a sample client and project is packaging, proposal template design, and okay, so I'll just use generic. And the cool thing is here you can modify this, you can add steps to it. So here you can create packages for the client. So let's say one package is the cheaper package, one is the more expensive but has more value, and you can basically decide what you're going to do. These are extra features that you will have to pay for, but I like using that because the client really has the choice that they can make, and they can really accept the proposal right away. You get notified whenever the person viewed the proposal. So it's really, really cool. And here, fee summary. So let's say I want to invoice them something, let's say branding. I want to invoice them a flat fee of 2,500. Oops, it's a 1 unit and $2,500 per unit, right? So now I have the total here and so on, and I can add the items. And I can also, I add a timeline of the project here at the bottom, and then I send the proposal to the client. And then it it arrives at the client. I'm truly excited to be working with you and look forward to your response. Please email me at blah blah with any questions. All the best. And I'm sending the proposal. They can accept the proposal, and once the proposal is accepted, they already get the first invoice, invoicing them a certain amount. So let's say I don't know, 50% of the fee summary. Okay, so guys, this site is the shit. This site is what I use personally, and it has been such a help. And you can also do accounting, so this is also actually really cool, but of course you have to upgrade the plan. But here you can also put your expenses. So there is also a mobile application, so wherever you go, let's say you go and eat food with a client at a restaurant, you can take a picture of your receipt. It's already in your application, and whenever you do accounting by the end of the year, you will already have your expenses all listed there nicely, super easy. You will have all of your income, all of your expenses, and this program does a shitload of work for you that you don't have to do it by the end of the year. So totally recommend. By the way, not sponsored. Hello Bonsai, if you're seeing this, please sponsor me. I will gladly promote this amazing product. Anyway, my friends, so let's see if you guys have any questions. Javier saying, hi Javier, by the way, thanks for information. Jeremy is saying, this is an amazing resource. Yes, super cool, and it's free as long as you don't upgrade to some like expensive stuff here. I think there is also a trial, I'm not sure. But this is super cool. I love this application. It's been so helpful, and it helps me track everything, manage my clients, send invoices. It reminds me of everything that I have to do. And plus you can start the timer. Let's say you start working here and you're working on the project for a sample client for packaging, and you're working on this and this task, and rate per hour is, let's say, $60. And what are you working on? Branding or packaging concepts, let's say. So you can also, let's say you have this, and your time is running, and once you're done working, you basically stop it, and then you have this unbilled hourly thing. So let's go into time tracking. Here you will be able to bill the hours. So I have just worked for a couple seconds and I have made to 42 cents. And now you can go ahead and go into here and yeah, you can also update the hours manually and so on. So here you will also see how many hours you worked without billing the person, so you can bill them by the end of the month, the amount that you have not paid yet, and so on. So this is really cool resource. Whew. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining. It was really, really amazing. Let's see if we have one more question that we can answer. If you don't have energy to work or be creative, do you force yourself to work harder when you're feeling okay? First of all, I have a problem with people confusing, oh, I'm not feeling okay, or oh, I'm mentally not healthy, with people who are super lazy. So don't be lazy. Work once you're feeling though. Sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I know what it means to be overloaded and to feel like you don't have nothing else in your life except for your work. I know how it feels. For that, I like to go away, far away, go travel, go camping, go do some stuff outside from my natural environment, my natural habitat, which is my office. Go into another environment, go visit some friends, go visit family. That always helps to kind of go back to your normal. But if you're just lazy, if you will know that you're lazy. If you're lazy, you're just saying, oh, I don't know, I don't feel like doing anything today. If you feel like that, just do one small thing. Just one small thing. Don't overload yourself. I'm not the person where I'm like, oh, I don't feel like working today. I'm not going to overload myself with work instead and tell myself, hey, you don't want to work, so you have to. That's not the purpose of it. But feel when you're lazy, or feel when you're just, try to understand yourself. Try to understand, are you being lazy, laying on the couch looking through Instagram, or are you actually, not ready to create some amazing work? If you're not ready to create some amazing work, you need to get some inspiration. You need to get someone to talk to about your ideas. You need to write down your goals. That's what I usually do. I get myself a notebook and I write down some stuff. I write myself, let's say, oh, I want to improve my online presence. How can I do this? And I write myself down the different steps that I can do to do that, and then how I'm going to do that, and when I'm going to do that. So let's say on Monday I do one social media post, on Wednesday I do one social media post, and Friday I do one, and I'm planning it out up to the detail. And once I'm in the detail, I'm already feeling inspired to actually act upon it, to say, okay, oh, I can do that as a post for Monday. And I'm already kind of feeling to sit down at my computer and create that post, right? So that always helps me, because sometimes you're working on something very small and you don't see the bigger picture. So try to understand the bigger picture. That always helps to motivate yourself, and always reward yourself also when you accomplish something. So when I have reached 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, my husband told me, hey, if you reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to cook you a really nice steak. We're going to get a really nice piece of meat, and we're going to cook a really nice steak. So I had this motivation. I knew that, this is going to happen, and I have to reward myself. And yeah, and it happened, and I got my steak, and I got more motivation for more. So you can train yourself to do more tasks. Also, a big inspiration is getting money, getting paid for your work, so you can buy yourself something nice, or you can pay your bills, or you're more independent from your family. So that can be really, really inspiring, my friends. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful for all of you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And I will see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow, actually, for some portfolio reviews. I'm really excited for that. And I'm also going to be on Adobe Live in just less than an hour in 45 minutes. So make sure to join there as well. We're going to do some packaging design with Molly. She has been really awesome. So, okay, guys, I don't want to bother you any longer. I'm going to see you soon. Have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.